everybody, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. So glad you guys could join me for today's Tuesday tip. Today I want to talk to you about some ways to color your outline stamped images, especially if you're on a budget. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to own everything in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, right? I mean, who wouldn't? But today we're going to talk about some ways that you can color if you just want to invest a little bit or you just want to get started. I've got 6 different options for you. I know one of them is bound to work perfectly for you. So let's get started with our ways to color on a budget. All right, so as I said, no matter what your budget, we have got a coloring technique that is going to work for you. So I have an image here that I just stamped 6 times. This is from Botanical Bliss. So the techniques and ideas I'm going to share with you today are how to color in outline stamps. So for instance, if you wanted to do this flower, this bird, this leaf, that is not what this technique is for. This is strictly for coloring in. So let's go ahead and start with our first technique. And this is one of my go-tos. I mean, I tend to use this one a lot because it is super easy. I love to take stamps that are kind of just blotches, splotches. It's a great quick way to color in. Now this one is from Artisan Textures. So you see we have a lot of different, as I said, splotchy images. I use this one quite a bit when I have larger images. This one is perfect for my smaller ones. I am simply going to ink that up and watch this. We are just going to stamp and I have a colored image. Isn't it great? And it's got a real kind of watercolor type look. This is a really popular look right now, actually, this kind of splattery look. All right, very easy. Now I've got this ink pad out. I'm going to move on to my next one and I'm going to take a clear block and I'm going to add ink to that. Right? Crazy. Now I'm going to come in with an aqua painter. You guys have probably seen me use these a lot. I like to fill my aqua painters with rubbing alcohol. The 71% or 92%, I think. It doesn't matter which one. You notice there's alcohol here in the barrel. I'm simply going to squeeze that barrel until the rubbing alcohol squeezes out. By the way, you can also do this with water by all means. I just really love how quickly the alcohol dries. So I've picked up my color and I can simply add that to my image. And the other thing that's kind of nice with this, if you want to do a little shading, you can come in and really like concentrate and pick up some color. And look at that, we can even get a little shading going on there. Yeah, very, very simple technique. Very pretty too. To clean off the aqua painter, just rub it back and forth either on your grid paper or on scratch paper until it goes clean and then you're ready to go. And I'm going to show you another technique. Let's say you cannot invest in all of the ink pads. Do you know for half the price you can invest in an ink refill? And this is going to be great because you've got a lot of different uses for it. I'm going to just add a dot of ink refill right there to my clear block. Just like you saw me do, I'm going to squeeze the barrel until, yep, there's that alcohol. It's flowing. And now I can color in and I can do it directly with my ink refill. Like I said, half the cost, so a great little saver, but just a reminder, remember the only thing, this is for coloring in outline stamps. So if you're doing solid image stamps, well, you're really going to need that ink pad, but I did want you to see this is just another version of how to use the aqua painter, especially if you're on a budget. Another coloring technique I love are sponge daubers. This is another great one. You can just ink up a sponge dauber, and I like to rub some of the excess off. See, that's a little bright, so I do kind of take a moment just to do that, and then just lightly, and I do mean lightly, sponge my ink color on here. Here's the thing, I can always add more, but I can't take it away. So we can just add our color this way. And I like to kind of come off the image, gives it a nice soft look. But did you notice we have leaves? We need to color in the leaves. So I'm going to take my mint macaron and a sponge dauber. And look at that, I can add, isn't it pretty? Just a little bit, just a little additional color. But if you don't have the markers or the stamping blends, you could just simply get sponge daubers and you can start to color any way you wish. I'm going to come back in with my ink pad and my clear block again. And guys, I'm going to use the blender pens. These are a lot of fun. This is basically an uninked marker. So it's got the same juice, all that good juice inside there. And I'm going to pick up that color with my blender pen. And you can see it just turns my blender pen into a marker. But you notice the ink doesn't stay on there forever, but that's kind of nice because look, it gives me this chance to sit here and blend these colors. Just pick up more as you need it. Very easy to do. So a few blender pens, and by the way, you clean those the same way you did with the aqua painter. Rub it on your scratch paper until it's clean, and then you're good to go again into your next color. In fact, let's do that. I'm now going to take that mint macaron, and by the way, that is the exact same side of the blender pen that I just used. So yeah, and there we go. We can add our mint macaron the exact same way. Clean that blender pen until it comes clean, and it may stain, but look, it's clean. We are good to go. For my last coloring technique, again, this really can be done on a budget, especially if you don't have the ink pads. Go ahead and invest in the markers. So here is one of our Stampin' Right markers. So of course I can just color in the leaves with the Stampin' Right marker. And I want you to notice that's a thick tip on one end, but the other end I can write. So we kind of like that we have that option. My favorite though has got to be the Stampin' Blends. So what I like to do with Stampin' Blends is to color in my flower with the light Stampin' Blend, and you can get these separately. So there's a light and a dark. So there I'm going to color with the light, and then I'm going to come in with the dark. And you notice in this stamp in particular, Stampin' Up's kind of already done all that shading for me. So I don't even have to be neat about it, because here in just a second, I'm going to blend. So there we go. We've colored that. Come back in with that light. And when we come back over it, the alcohol in the Stampin' Blend is going to pick up. Do you see how it's changing? It picks up those two colors together, blends them together, and makes them very pretty, and really gives you some nice highlight. And anytime you want to add a little more, maybe you just really want that, maybe that middle, you want that middle to be a little bit darker, we can just come back in. Ooh, it's just addicting to play with these. But this is a really great way to add color really when you're on a budget. I think the blends are a fabulous tool. I think you did notice I had that paper underneath me, because it does bleed through. You can see here I didn't have too much issue with bleeding except on that one. There we go, guys. 6 different ways to color in your stamped images. You use the technique that works within your budget and the technique that works well with your stamping style. Thank you guys so much for being a part of today's Tuesday tip. I sure appreciate you. If you enjoy what you saw today, share with a friend and take a minute to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoy Tuesday tips, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. Those are always appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Have a fabulous day. I look forward to stamping with you next time. Bye-bye.